driven by dreams. Today you join me in my own personal 2003 Lexus IS300 Sport design with the coveted 5-speed manual transmission. Since I just hit the 1-year mark on owning this car, I figured I'd go over a few things that I love about it, a few things I hate about it, and a few facts about the IS300. I will say first of all that this is by far the best car I have ever owned for a number of reasons. And we'll start with that silky smooth power plant up front, a 3-liter inline-6 producing 215 horsepower, better known as the 2JZ. This sedan shares power plant with the Toyota Supra, mind you, without 2 turbos, but you still get a very good power delivery. This car has plenty of torque in every gear. I'm in 5th gear right now at 2,000 RPM, and you put your foot down and the torque is just there. There's no need to downshift when you're passing someone or anything like that. The 2JZ is mated to a 5-speed manual gearbox, which was only put in 5% of the 01 to 05 IS300s, leaving out 2001, of course, because those were not available in manuals. At the time, Lexus made this car to compete with the E46 BMW 3 Series. And when you're looking on paper, this car seems to outperform it in pretty much everything. The Lexus's 215 horsepower absolutely killed the comparable BMW 328's 194, and it came in weighing 3,200 pounds compared to the BMW's 3,300 pounds. The interior is very stylish as well. You get this lovely 3-spoke steering wheel carried over from the Supra, the fantastic instrument cluster that looks like a fancy foreign watch. You get the big speedo in the center, your rev counter to the left, and your fuel gauge to the right. And I think it's just a very nice place to be in here. It's a very nice setup to look at while you're driving. The seats are nice as well. This one is fitted with the ivory interior, but you could also get partial Alcantara seats, which I actually prefer. I have a buddy with an 02 IS300 with the Alcantara seats, and they really hug you when you're going around corners. But of course, there are a few things about it that I don't like too much. Starting with the dashboard. Now, if you own an IS300, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The dashboard is made out of this weird material that over time gets almost sticky, and it scratches so easily that if you just even nick the dash with your fingernail, it puts a huge scratch in it. And I'll put a shot in right now of what my dash looks like, but it's absolutely terrible. And most people just end up sanding theirs down, repainting them and sealing them with a paint that is more resistant to scratching. Another thing I don't like too much is the clear taillights. Now, I know this car was introduced in 2001 and went till 2005, which was sort of the original Fast and Furious phase with everyone, but I just think for a luxury sedan, they could have done something a little more refined and luxury looking instead of clear taillights with red circles. Just my opinion. But with those few tiny details set aside, this is a truly brilliant car. And by looking at it, I would say it was built in 2008 or 2009. I mean, the car was way ahead of its time. I mean, in all seriousness, I used to work at a Ford dealership, so I've driven pretty much every new Ford, anywhere from a Fiesta to a top-of-the-line Expedition. The interior build quality on this car and just the quietness and the lack of wind noise is better quality than most new Fords. Seriously is. And that's really saying something about Lexus as an entire brand and how they've really been top dog with quality since the late 90s and the early 2000s. I mean, seriously an impressive car. Since somehow I've gone this whole road test without talking about performance, other than listing horsepower, it does have 215 horsepower, but here, let me give it the beans from here. 0 to 60 is dealt with in about 7 seconds. which doesn't rip your face off, but it's plenty to put a smile on it. Top speed, to be honest, I'm not really sure, and I don't really care. I assume it's somewhere around 140. Personally, on a closed course, of course, I've had this car up to about 120, and it seemed like it had a little bit more room to go. So how about ownership cost? Well, as I stated earlier, I've had the car for about a year, and not too much has really gone wrong with it. Maintenance-wise, I did the timing belt and water pump at the same time, of course. I did a serpentine belt because the old one was cracked and it was squeaking a bit. I also did front pads and rotors, as well as 2 new calipers for the front, as one of them was sticking. And recently I had to replace the blendor motor because there was no heat coming through. But other than that, oh, and an HID ballast because the car decided it wanted to be Cyclops at one point. But other than those few things, I mean, the car's never left me stranded, knock on crappy plastic. The car's done 165,000 miles, and if I'm being completely honest, it still drives like a brand new car. There's no shimmies, there's no wobbles, there's no rattles in the interior. It's still corners flat. I mean, this car seriously blows me away. Also, comparing it in the used car market to an E46 3 Series, I mean, it's worth about double what one of those is. Comparing this to like a 2003 325 I say, one of those will set you back, I don't know, 3-4 grand. An IS300 with a manual gearbox in this condition, even with 160,000 miles, is going to cost you anywhere from 7 to 8 grand. And that also speaks for the quality and the reliability of this car. So overall, I am absolutely blown away by the quality of this car. I'm blown away with how reliable it's been over the first year of owning it. And if I were you, I would go out and buy one right now, because I'm predicting that values on the manual ones are going to go up. So if you want a fun sports sedan that you can use every day, no headaches, no problems at all, an IS300 is the perfect car for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I am doing my absolute best to crank out some videos. I want this channel to grow. I know I have the potential to make this channel into something really great. Be sure to comment if you have any ideas for any future videos. If there's anything you want to see with any of my cars, then I'll be sure to read those and take those into consideration. So thank you so much, and have a great day.